This is Tompkins Square Park, and it's more than just a patch of green in New York's East Village. For almost 2 decades, this park has been a gathering place for immigrants, activists, artists, and everyday New Yorkers. It's seen waves of change, from 19th century labor protests to 1960s counterculture, to battles over housing and gentrification in the 1980s. Every generation has left its mark here, and today, the park sits at the heart of one of the most diverse and vibrant food scenes in New York City. Around its edges, you'll find old school diners, bakeries from immigrant communities, vegan cafes, trendy spots, and everything in between. In this project, we're going to explore how the history of the park helped shape the flavors of the East Village. But first, let's zoom out for a second. This is the island of Manhattan, and this is the neighborhood we know today as the East Village. But it hasn't always been called that. In the 1800s, it was part of Klein Deutschland, or Little Germany, home to the largest German community outside of Europe. Later, it became tied to the Lower East Side, known for waves of Jewish, Ukrainian, and Puerto Rican immigrants. In the 1960s, artists and musicians moved in, and people started calling it the East Village, to set it apart from the slums associated with the Lower East Side and align it with the more appealing Greenwich Village nearby. It quickly became a place of rebellion, creativity, and constant change. At the center of it all is Tompkins Square Park. Founded in 1834, it was created as a public space for the growing working class neighborhood. Over the years, it became a symbol of the East Village's spirit. Even today, the park is still the beating heart of the neighborhood's identity. And just like the neighborhood around it, the food here tells a story, layer by layer. Some places, like Veselka, a Ukrainian diner serving pierogi and borscht since 1954, hold on to the East Village's immigrant roots. In the 1960s and 70s, the countercultural wave brought health food stores, cafes, and experimental kitchens that fed artists, activists, and dreamers living around the park. And more recently, a new wave of restaurants, from fusion spots to vegan bakeries and artisanal coffee shops, have reshaped the food scene again, blending modern trends with deep neighborhood traditions. To really understand the East Village, you have to taste its history. So let's take a walk and meet some of the places and the people who keep the spirit alive. These are all the buildings around the park. And these are all the food related establishments facing Avenue A, 10th Street, Avenue B, and 7th Street. At any time, you may pause or rewind the video and read more about a place below. You can use your mouse's right and left clicks to orbit and pan around the map if you wish to explore more. This is Tompkins Square Eats, and this is C&B, which stands for Coffee and Breakfast, and that's exactly what you get here. At C&B, everything is made with seasonal, local ingredients. No avocados, no shortcuts. The eggs here are the real star. Slow poached for over an hour, served with dishes like house-made chicken sausage, fresh potatoes, and toast. Even the cafe's logo ties back to the American elm trees right across the street. Since opening in 2015, C&B has become a real neighborhood favorite. The coffee is strong, and the East Village community spirit is alive and well. Zoe and I grabbed coffees to start the day. For breakfast, she ordered the chorizo and egg sandwich, and I ordered the merguez and egg, which is a spicy Turkish sausage. Right off Avenue A, Village Square Pizza headlines the East Village's pizza scene. It's a small spot that's known for its square pies. Whether you're late at night or grabbing a quick dinner, Village Square Pizza keeps it casual but high quality. Zoe and I grabbed vodka slice for $4.95 and a meat lovers for $6.25. I'm not much of a pizza guy myself, but all I can say is that this was very good. Not every place has to be a big sit down meal. Sometimes it's the simple everyday places that really feel like home. East Village Mini Market right off Avenue A is one of those spots. It's a classic corner deli where you can grab a breakfast sandwich, a coffee, or just pick up whatever you need. I come here pretty often. It's quick, it's convenient, and the guys behind the counter always keep things moving. Today, I just grabbed a Fairlife Core Power protein shake for after my workout. Nothing fancy, but exactly what I needed. Places like this are part of the rhythm of living in the East Village. Right across the street from Tompkins Square Park is Ray's Candy Store, one of the East Village's most legendary and most unusual spots. Ray's has been open since 1974, run by Ray Alvarez, who came to New York from Iran after serving in the Navy. He bought his little candy shop for $30,000, and over the decades, it became much more than a place to grab a snack. During the Tompkins Square Park riots of 1988, while chaos broke out all around, Ray stayed open, saying all the protesters and cops were his customers. Ray survived the changing tides of the neighborhood, a near eviction, and even a violent attack on Ray himself when he was 90 years old, and somehow he just kept going. The shop is a true East Village institution. That being said, when we visited, the place smelled really, really bad, like old fryer oil, wet cardboard, and something way worse hiding underneath. But we powered through. Zoe and I ordered one of the shop's famous frozen bananas covered in chocolate. It sounded fun, but honestly, I wasn't a fan. The banana was totally unripe, rock solid from the freezer, and so frozen you couldn't really taste anything at all. Still, it's one of those places you kind of have to experience if you want to understand the weird, stubborn spirit of the East Village. Right across the street from where I live is Ralph's famous Italian Ices, a spot that's become a neighborhood staple since it opened on Avenue A in 2020. Even on cooler nights, there's almost always a line outside, especially in the summer. Ralph started back in 1928 when Ralph Silvestro began selling Italian ices from a truck in Staten Island. Since then, it's grown into a regional chain, but this East Village location still feels like a local hangout. The menu is massive, over 100 flavors of ices, cream ices, soft serve, shakes, and sundaes. On this visit, Zoe and I ordered a caramel sundae and walked back home. Tucked away at Ninth Street and Avenue C is Ninth Street Espresso, one of the original specialty coffee shops in New York. They opened back in 2001, way before the third wave coffee boom, and they've kept things simple ever since. No crazy flavor syrups, no gimmicks, just real good coffee. Zoe got a latte and I got a cortado, and both were perfect. Super smooth and balanced, the space is minimal, but that's part of the vibe. It feels like a little pocket of calm in the middle of the East Village. And after all these years, it's still one of the best places around just to slow down and have a proper coffee. For this project, I mostly focused on food spots, not bars, but we made an exception for Yucca Bar since they serve food as well. It was a beautiful day and Tompkins Square Park was packed, so we decided to sit outside. We didn't order any food since we had already eaten, but we got a mango margarita instead, and it was good. Sweet, but not too heavy. We sat for a while, just people watching and eavesdropping on conversations at the tables around us. The energy on Avenue A was great. Lots of locals, some tourists, and just good East Village vibes. Yucca Bar felt like a nice place to hang out, even without the party scene that's usually known for later at night. We were pretty full and honestly a little tipsy from the margarita, but we still wanted to stop by Superiority Burger. It's one of the most famous vegetarian spots in the East Village. It used to be tiny, but they just moved into a bigger space across from Tompkins Square Park. We didn't order a full meal because we weren't really hungry, but we had seen a picture of their gelato on Google Maps and it looked pretty good. We ordered the apricot and pistachio to split. It was really fresh and not too sweet. The place was rather empty, but the vibe was nice and we got good service from the guy at the bar. It feels like a real East Village place, a little weird but really good. While my mom was visiting from Argentina and my godmother came in from Denver, Zoe and I took them to Gnocco, a cozy northern Italian spot just off of Tompkins Square Park. I had actually been there twice before, for my 23rd birthday and for a date with Zoe a few weeks earlier, so I knew it was a good pick. We started with calamari, which was really fresh, and for mains, I got the pumpkin ravioli with chicken, Zoe had gnocchi with tomato sauce and chicken, and my mom and godmother shared gnocchi with truffle. The food was great as always, and the vibe is super relaxed and is one of those spots in the East Village that feels a little tucked away but always delivers. Blank Street Coffee has popped up all over the city the past few years, and there's a location right here in the East Village too. They're known for keeping things simple. Good coffee, a clean, minimalist vibe, and a fast grab and go setup. It's definitely on the pricier side compared to a lot of local shops, and there's not a ton of food options, but their coffee and matcha drinks are really solid for a bigger chain. When we stopped by, I ordered a cold brew and Zoe got a daydream latte. It has a hint of lavender and vanilla. Both drinks were really good, especially on a warm day, and honestly, that kind of sums up what I love about the East Village. There are so many places here, big chains, tiny independent spots, new openings, and old institutions, and while I couldn't cover every single one, I hope this project gave a good sense of how much life, history, and energy you can find just walking a few blocks. It's all part of what makes this neighborhood feel like home.